If you're new to Explora Journeys or new to cruising in general, you probably have a lot of questions. I know that we did before we got on board. In this video, we're going to cover some of the things that we wish we'd known before we stepped on board. So we're fairly new to cruising ourselves, and in fact Explora was our first luxury and our first large cruise for longer than 3 nights. We did do a Royal Caribbean previously. So with that in mind, we have asked a special guest who knows a lot more about luxury cruising than we do to help us with a couple of the questions. And you can keep an eye out for him later. So number 1, what is Explora Journeys and who is it for? So Explora Journeys is a luxury lifestyle cruise. It's a little different from its parent company, MSC, in that its boats are smaller, much more luxurious, and much more modern. More like little hotels, boutique 5-star hotels at sea. It's aimed at travelers who want something a little bit extra from the mainstream cruises, a little bit more refined service, a little bit higher quality food, and a little bit more calmness than some of the big mega ships. So it's definitely more relaxed than ultra blingy. So on board when we were there, it was mostly couples. There was a couple of family groups and some mature travelers. It was definitely people who are looking to switch off rather than switch on their holiday. So what's included and what's not on Explora Journeys? What is included is full dining in the ship's 5 or 6 restaurants, depending how you count the Crema Cafe. And there's only one that's an upcharge, which is called Anthology. The cooking classes where you cook your own meal are another addition, but I'm not classing that as a restaurant. All your drinks, unless you have very, very, very rare tastes, are included, including champagnes, whiskies, spirits, beers, smoothies, soft drinks, your fresh juices, your specialty coffees. You will not have to break out your wallet at all. If you do have really expensive tastes, then you do have that option. And if you're a connoisseur, you are definitely going to find ways to spend more. You also have access to the thermal spa. Now, this is anytime it's open during a port day, but on sea days, it's, I think if I remember, it was between 8 and 10 a.m. and then between 6 and 8 p.m. Just because obviously on a sea day, they want to get the people who've got the treatments in there because they're earning money from that. Room service and your minibar is also included, as is the fitness center and all the classes on board, unless you want a personal trainer. Then you have to pay a little bit extra. Do you need to dress up on Explora Journeys? The simple answer is no, mostly. You can wear what you like. Obviously, they're not going to welcome you into the Anthology restaurant if you're wearing a pair of Speedos. But for the most part, think of it like resort casual. So most of the places, if you have tidy shorts on and you have sleeved like this to a certain extent, or a t-shirt, you will be okay. Anthology did ask for trousers, and the restaurants asked for not open shoes, so no sandals or no Crocs to go into the restaurants. Other than that, if you want to dress up, you can. Some people did, some people didn't. It is a very, very relaxed atmosphere, and that's one of the differences that I'm sure Alex will go into, that there's no formality really on board, something that we definitely welcomed. So what's the food like on Explora Journeys? Well, food is such a subjective topic. One man's potato, one man's potato, and all that. For me, the food is of the highest quality. In all the restaurants, there was no question about the quality of the food. Some of the restaurants I preferred over others. For example, the buffet, or it's not a buffet, but the food court type Emporium Marketplace was my personal favorite by a long way, whereas Sakura was the Asian restaurant. I actually live in Asia, so to be fair, that was hit and miss for me. The steakhouse was good, definitely good quality, and the Fil Rouge and the Med Yacht Club, again, excellent quality food, great tasting. I just happen to like to have more choice, and Deck 11 was the one for me. But if you're in any way a foodie, this is definitely the boat for you. How does Explora compare to other luxury and other ultra luxury cruise lines? Well, I can't answer that because I've been on Explora and it was great for me. I've also been on Royal Caribbean quite a long time ago for 3 days, and all the rest has been Greek ferries or ferries from Holland to the UK. So I cannot compare luxury lines. However, I'm going to hand you over to Alex at Cruising After 50, who definitely has done a lot of luxury cruising.
How does Explora compare to other luxury cruise lines? Roy, that is the crux of the conversation, isn't it? To answer directly, Explora is not luxury in the old school traditional sense. And frankly, I see that as a deliberate, welcomed evolution. I call the established brands, the Silver Seas and the Seabourns, the purveyors of the heavy luxury. It's magnificent, of course, but it's kind of opulence you feel compelled to admire rather than truly live in. It's the precision handiwork built for show. Explora, by contrast, delivers a modern European elegance. It feels like a mahogany, less like a mahogany paneled private club and more like a chic contemporary boutique hotel at sea. Its most luxurious commodity is not the hand tooling and the silverware, but the space itself. With the smallest suite starting at over 400 square feet and a generous guest to tonnage ratio, you never feel crowded. The ship is designed to feel effortless and airy. Compared to the competition, Explora's atmosphere is decidedly casual chic. You won't find the rigidity of a formal night. This less stuffy approach is precisely why the demographic skews notably younger than on Seabourn or Silversea. We're talking mid-50s rather than mid-60s and up. It has a more cosmopolitan European energy. The food, for me, it's a massive win. It's inventive, diverse, and easily exceeds the offerings I found on other lines, often feeling like refined land-based dining. When you factor in the included premium Wi-Fi and overall quality, Explora offers a compelling value proposition, especially compared to, I don't know, for example, Viking, which I was recently, which land tends to operate in the premium plus category. They dial down on the spectacle. If you want Broadway production shows, you have to look elsewhere. Explora prefers intimate, high-quality, lounge-style performances, talented resident artists, jazz, and sophisticated vocalists. It perfectly matches the quiet, relaxed luxury of the ship. In summary, Explora has boldly defined the next generation of luxury, I would say. It sacrifices the traditional formality for unparalleled space, spectacular food, and the relaxed all-day elegance. It truly delivers what they market as ocean's state of mind.
So thanks to Alex for that. It's definitely high up on his recommendation, and it is, to be honest, carries less weight, but it's high up on our recommendations as well. So which cabins are the best? And are they all really the same if it's an all-suite cruise ship? Now, the simple answer is no, they're not all the same. Of course, location on a boat, if it's at the back, if it's at the front, if it's in the middle, can make a difference if you don't like motion or if you maybe get a little bit seasick. But they also have 4 or 5 different classes of cabin, maybe a few more, but basically 4 or 5. They have the entry ocean terrace, which is what we used, but if you check out the video, we can give you a top tip on which one to choose, because you actually have ones with slightly alcoved balconies, which give you a view over the ship. And not many of those suites, any suites on board, have that sort of view where you get a view from 2 directions. Above that, you have the grand terraces, which have a bigger balcony. Then you have the penthouses, which are bigger, and there's a couple of different sorts of those. And then you go on to the residences, and then you go on to the owner suite, which is some crazy 10,000 US dollars a night or something, 3,000 square foot apartment at the back of the ship. What's the entertainment like on Explora Journeys? Well, like all cruise ships, there is entertainment on board. You have to remember the size of the ship. It is not some Star of the Seas 1 kilometer long boat. So it cannot provide those big shows, the big water acrobatic shows. It can provide lounge style entertainment, and that's what it does. When we were on for 6 days, it had singers and dancers. That was our choice. Now, of course, there's other cruise ship activities going on. There's treasure hunts and there's activities like quizzes and like specialist talks that will talk about where you're going. So we found that this cruise is very much one that you kind of have to entertain yourself. And that can just be by having a nice drink at the back of the boat and watching the sun go down. That's a superb thing to do. But it's not one that you're going to be entertained every minute of the day. Is Explora family friendly? Are there kids on board? So yes, and yes is the quick answer. But the longer answer is yes, but. It's not designed as a party boat. It's not designed as an activity boat. It's designed as a luxury boat. So while there is a kids club on board, it's not got go-karts or VR or water slides on it. So it's very much going to be, even for the kids, a chilled out holiday. So what's the Wi-Fi like? Can you actually work on board Explora Journeys? The Wi-Fi is excellent. It's Starlink, and I did a test which I then stupidly deleted from my phone, and the best speed I got was about 110 mbs, which honestly at sea I haven't seen anything compared to that speed in any other videos, and definitely not on the Royal Caribbean ship a few years ago, or any of the little ferries that I've taken and actually paid for the Wi-Fi. So yes, you can work on board. Of course, if you're trying to upload gigabytes upon gigabytes of photos and videos, that might slow down a little bit. But if you're just doing the emails or just checking in, then yes, the Wi-Fi is perfectly good on there. So my question to Alex, because we are looking at going on more cruises, we definitely caught the bug, was if we've already been on Explora Journeys, and that was our first cruise, is it worth going with them again for our second cruise?
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. For a luxury cruising novice, Explora is the ideal entry point. Why? Because it offers all the landmarks of true luxury. The incredible almost one-to-one guest-to-staff ratio, the spacious suites, and the exceptional dining, without the pretense or the need to navigate the often intimidating formalities of the older lines. For the experienced traveler like myself, I consider myself experienced, its merit is in its continual improvement. As I often say to my friends, each time I step on board, the service is more refined, the experience is more seamless, and the small logistical kinks are being ironed out. It is like that they genuinely and rapidly are ascending. I am so convinced that I am already booked for my next journey on April 2nd, sailing out of San Juan. I look forward to watching this magnificent brand fully realize its potential. Thanks for inviting me, Roy. It is a pleasure to be here on your channel.
So a big thanks to Alex over at Cruising After 50, and you should definitely go and check out his channel. The link is just down below. And then while you're there, if you can hit like on ours, and maybe if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, because we're trying to get to that magic 1,000 just before Christmas. It will be a great Christmas present for me. So again, hope that was useful to you. And if it was, maybe we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.